Hello and welcome to Waiting Now, an engaged salon podcast that amplifies young voices. I am your presenter, Adama Morgan. This is the fourth in a series of episodes that fall in about young people in Sierra Leone. You can listen to our previous episodes wherever you get your podcast. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. In our last episode, we took an insight into understanding sexual health and reproductive rights. Today's episode is one you wouldn't want to miss out, so stay tuned. In this episode, we're going to be looking at a very important topic, mental health in young people, and the role mindfulness plays in keeping young people mentally stable. I'll be having a conversation with Doreen Oredola Valrie Deigh, a mental health and wellness expert who has been providing mindfulness support to young people. The stigma towards mental health is a major issue, and mental health literacy is extremely low in our society. Hello Doreen and welcome to Waiting Now.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. Today we're here to talk about mental health, the stigma attached to it, and what role mindfulness plays in achieving a well-balanced mental state. In countries like Sierra Leone, mental health issues are not given the required attention it needed because some people attach it to witchcraft or trivialize it. Doreen, how would you define mental health?
Well, mental health can be defined as our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. So, in a way, we all have mental health because those three things affect all of us. Okay, so where it can be a problem, where it can take a toll on we, like if, for example, emotionally we're emotionally down, psychologically down, and all social life begin to get affected in a negative way, that's when we start saying that mental health problem or mental health issues. So that's the difference between the word or phrase mental health and it being an issue or problem.
You've been a wellness coach. Can you please tell us about your experience?
For some time, it's hard for people to come on board for my wellness sessions. I remember when I first did my workshop last year, November, some people were telling me, oh, they think it's yoga. Someone said that the boyfriend said that Christians don't do mindfulness or meditation. So it's not often appreciated or welcomed among people, but there are some people who care about their mental health, who know it's necessary, who just want to experience things differently. They are on board anytime I come out with a wellness session or class.
Okay, so how did it all started for you?
It started in 2020 when I first took it was a mindfulness for stress reduction class and health class. So back then in 2020 that I was being cyberbullied, very stressed because of the cyberbullying. So I was like, okay, let me just take this class. And it was free at that time. And that's how I started. Since then, I've been adding more certificates to it. And now I'm doing an 8 weeks mindfulness for stress reduction course later on this year.
So you mentioned that you were cyberbullied.
Yes.
So what effect does stress have on mental health?
Some people, it's only emotionally that it affects them. Some people, it messes with the social aspect of their lives. They become withdrawn. They stay at home all the time. They don't go out. Some people don't eat. For me, it was during COVID year, so I could not actually be out and about. So it was more of me always being at home, crying and stuff like that. So it shows up differently. Some people their sleep patterns change. Some people, their eating patterns change. Some people gain weight even though they are depressed or even though they are under stress. Some people lose weight. So it happens differently for people.
What do you think are some of the misconceptions that affect support systems for mental health in Sierra Leone?
When people are not properly educated on mental health, misconceptions come out of that, not being properly educated. And that affects people that want to seek help. I remember, I think it was 2 years back when I was going to the mental home at Kisi. Had been there before, but I forgot the route, the exact way to take to go up the hill. So I remember I was asking someone, like, where outside the mental home day, and they looked at me. The person watched me like, eh.
Like you were the crazy one.
Yeah, like, what's this young girl go do that in mental home? Like that kind of way. So it is stop person not for seek help, because if not so because of if me know wetin make her the goodie. So some people, they already don't stress, they don't feel feelings of depression for a long time, and they don't get that small courage for go up the mental home, and they want look where they go get away. They if they enter the place, they could just be like, oh, I'm not going for care again because of that way. So people, they can fit to say where you dress up and just go out having a business or having quote unquote healthy lifestyle, they feel like, oh, you can't be depressed or you can't be prone to depression. But a lot of us are fighting silent battles people are not know about, and we're trying to seek help. But the kind of response what would they get from family and friends, from people who are similarly educated, safe, it's a lot to make people like just draw back and be like, oh, I can handle this myself, and that leads to things like addiction and drug abuse and misuse.
Okay, so as a wellness coach, how do you think we can fight against mental health stigma?
It's more or less more education. The thing about Sierra Leone is that they receive funding, but they're not the maker for people. I would really like people, especially people in the mental health sector or even the health sector, for do more events or more programs than for educate people there. You don't need for be elaborate. You need for be one-on-one talk with. It can be a campaign for educate people then more to know mental health and how it shows up for certain people.
So how do you think mental health affects the lives of young people in Sierra Leone?
Well, we live in Sierra Leone.
Yes, exactly.
So as long as you live in Sierra Leone, touch down in Sierra Leone, your mental health gets affected one way or the other. It's a lot. Even for people that are graduates, having a job is one, because you have to have some experience, 5 years experience, 10 years experience in some cases. Even if you find a job advert and it fits into what you have and you go there's already someone that they will have designed the position for already, that already has the position. So it's a lot for us in Sierra Leone.
Thank you, Doreen, for sharing such wonderful insights with us. Overcoming the false beliefs about stigma and mental illnesses can cause significant problems when they're not being addressed. Mental health service delivery remains challenging in Sierra Leone, and due to that, thousands are unable to access the health services they need. Doreen, is there a support network for mental health in Sierra Leone?
Yes, we have the mental home at Kisi, where you go in, even the medication is free at Kisi. That is why I went there the last time for my medication, because it's free there. So you go into the mental home, you get access to doctors, you get access to free medication. Wherein I think there is an outlet. I don't know if it's a branch, but I know that Dr. Jallo, the psychiatrist, I know that he also sees patients. It's at a hospital at Bathurst Street. It's for people that can go to the east. So there are support systems.
So is it accessible for everyone?
The one at Kisi is free for people that don't have money to pay for drugs and everything. The one at Bathurst Street, it's for people that are seeking comfort, that can't go to Kisi. The drugs there are not free, but you can still see a doctor there.
So do you think more needs to be done in terms of accessibility for mental health services?
Yes, more needs to be done, because even going to those places, those hospitals that I mentioned, the services, the health service in Sierra Leone, mental health, even going to hospitals like Connaught, and as long as it's the public sector, it is poor. The last time I went there, I had to sit for like 3 hours just to see a doctor, and we were not even plenty at the waiting room at that time. So it is poor, and I feel like more needs to be done. They receive funding from international organizations, and more needs to be done in the more doctors that they have, the medication that they have and are able to give out. So although we're still lacking in the aspect of mental health and making things available for Sierra Leoneans.
Doreen, there are so much barriers attached to accessing mental health services in Sierra Leone. Can you mention some of them?
The barriers include voicing out that you want to seek mental health and the response that you get. That is one. And that also affects your acceptance. Because for me, let's say I have accepted now that I have problems with my mental health and I want to go seek help at any of those hospitals. I voiced it out to myself. Now voicing it out to people around me for that emotional or moral support, it breaks, because maybe those people don't want me to feel that way. They would say, oh, Doreen, what make you feel so you get problem with your mental health? Like, we all get problems with mental health, that's all. Then kind of casual things, then they go break me. I've already made up my mind to go there, but they will break me not to go there. And two is the fact that the home at Kisi is very far. The hospital at Bathurst is full because it's a hospital. I think Dr. Jallo only has an office there, but it's actually someone else's hospital. And the waiting time to sit there just to see a doctor, and you have to buy expensive medication at the end of the day. It's a lot. And the rehab centers that we have there is City of Rest. It's mostly prayer groups, and so it's hard. And most of the time, we don't need prayer. We need medication. We need proper medication, proper guidance, and that's what I think that when they have more funding, they should work on those things, and they should try to put more people on board to help them. If they don't have the time to see everyone, at least have some people on board that would educate these people on things that they could do to better their mental health, because a lot of people, medication does not work well with them. I had to try different medications first because one would make me gain weight, one would make me eat a lot, and it's not economical at the point to always be eating. So a lot of people, medication does not work for them. So there are also ways. That's why I did the mindfulness, and that is why I try to share mindfulness as much as I can with people, because at the end of the day, we ourselves have to find ways to help boost our mental health and the way we feel.
Doreen, you mentioned two mental health institutions, the one at Kisi and the one at Bathurst. How do you think governmental and non-governmental organizations can support individuals with mental illnesses in Sierra Leone?
They can support us by opening more centers, more mental health centers. They keep saying that there's only one psychiatrist in Sierra Leone. They can also give support to that psychiatrist. They can also give support to the nurses that help take care of the people at Kisi. Some advocates want to help. Experts too. You train us. I'm sure that organizations at UN that give trainings, collaborate with those. Let us have legit certificates that we will show and say we were trained under these people for mental health, and we're qualified to give assistance to people suffering from mental health problems. Resilience
and mental health are closely linked. Doreen, what are the common strategies that can be used to build resilience?
Resilience? I don't like that word. People think that it's empowering. It's not. Like, for example, I don't like when someone calls me a strong woman. I don't. It's like you're saying, just continue normal for total the load. Just continue with the heavy lifting. You're strong. But sometimes I just want to break. So using resilience, it's like you're telling people that they can't have a break because they're strong and they can handle it. So I don't actually like that word. So now what I think people need are coping mechanisms and strategies that could help their mental health. So like I said, that is why I keep on sharing mindfulness meditation. I am starting my class soon, and it's an 8-week class on mindfulness for stress reduction course. So it's those things. I sometimes talk about mental health. I sometimes write about mental health on my socials. I have a YouTube channel on mental health where I give tips on how to manage one's mental health, especially in this country, because the healthcare system is not in our favor. So healthy ways of living is one, like exercise. It doesn't have to be going to the gym. It can be a 10-minute walk. Sometimes it's 10 minutes just sitting by yourself, not thinking, not judging, which is what mindfulness actually is. Mindfulness is paying attention in the present moment, non-judgmentally, on purpose. So just being on purpose and being in the moment, those certain things helps us.
So what role do you think exercises, meditations, and coping mechanisms play in helping young people heal from different traumas?
It ignites certain parts of our brain. So it releases hormones in the body that helps. So your brain, it's something that needs to feel good.
It's like a muscle.
Yes. So you have to exercise it. And certain ways that you exercise your brain and other muscles is by actually exercising. So when you exercise, your heart pumps out more blood and you feel better. Sometimes something as simple as eating chocolate. I used to do that at the end of every week as a reward to myself. I will buy chocolate and eat. It helps. Chocolate, for example, is a mood booster.
Doreen, what are the effective ways of promoting well-being and resilience? I know you don't like the resilience word.
Effective ways, for me, I feel like when talking about mental health, because it's such a delicate topic, you can start by talking about your own experiences first. It gives people the comfort to say that, oh, I also feel this way, or oh, I used to feel this way, or oh, I understand where you're coming from. For me, I talk about my own experiences a lot, and I always end it with ways that they can better manage their mental health, or ways I managed my mental health. Something as simple as setting boundaries is important for your mental health with people, family, friends, the office. So if, for example, if you're working at the office, and this happens a lot in Sierra Leonean offices where you have your responsibilities, but they add more responsibilities because you think that you're resilient. I think that you can handle it. So setting that boundary, like, I am only comfortable with doing this. These are my responsibilities and that's what I'm comfortable with. Can you please give it to the next person? Or this is what I am mentally capable of doing at this point in time. So it's those simple things that can help you have a better mental health. I set boundaries online. I set boundaries with my friends and family. I am open about what I like and what I don't like. I'm open about how people treat me. And I am very open about saying, oh, I'm not in the right mental space right now for this. Especially difficult conversations in relationships, in friendships, at the workplace. So when I work as a social media manager, when I feel like, oh, I'm not at this place where I can give my best, where I can give the best type of content or be creative in the content that I produce, I say it to the person that I'm managing the social media page for.
Apart from setting boundaries, what else can young people do to manage workplace stress?
Being more vocal about how you feel. Being more vocal is, for example, talking about how you feel treated in the workplace. Maybe you feel seen or not seen. Maybe you feel like you are being overlooked at certain points of time during the office meetings, or when it comes to work being assigned. Being vocal in the politest way is one of the ways that young people can avoid stress at work.
When circumstances feel overwhelming, our coping mechanisms, as Doreen mentioned, can help us bring back ourselves under control. Prolonged stress also may have adverse effects on our health, our mental and our physical health. Doreen, what coping strategies do you use for managing personal and professional stress?
I practice mindfulness. That's one of the things that has helped me, being on purpose in the present moment. So that helps me to focus my thoughts, and I am more aware on how I can voice it out. So I know we talk in careless way. I am intentional about what I would speak out because I practice mindfulness more. And I sometimes take a step back. A part of mindfulness is showing kindness to others. So sometimes I would show kindness to people. Not the benefit of the doubt, but I would show kindness to you in the way I would express myself to you and in the way that I would just see you as a work colleague. So mindfulness has helped me a lot.
Doreen, personal relationships are sometimes the biggest sources of mental stresses. What do you think young people can do to minimize or avoid it?
Communication. I will always stress communicating well and being vocal helps young people manage their relationships, because two people are involved in this and you have to talk about certain things. You have to express certain things to one another. It's not just I love you. It's not just I miss you. It is, hey, this is how you made me feel today, and I would like it if, for example, I do the same thing again. I would like you to approach it differently. Or this is how you made me feel yesterday and I did not like it, and I would like you to find another way. I'm sorry I did this the other day, but I would like you to know this is why I did this. and you guys discuss it. It's not just accepting that, okay, like for example, someone, maybe your boyfriend says, I did this yesterday because this is how it made me feel, and you as a girlfriend say, okay. No, you discuss it. You also express how it made you feel and try to find better ways so that whatever thing that happened would be approached differently. So communication is one of the best ways to avoid stress, because one of the reasons that people have stress is because they keep things to themselves and then they build scenarios in their head too, which is not healthy at all. And that kind of relationship or friendship is not a healthy one.
Doreen, what if communication is not working? Should young people stay away from stressful and toxic relationships?
Yes. If communication is not working, stay away from that toxic relationship. Something as simple as communication not working, then that means that the relationship or friendship is toxic, and we should learn and move on from that.
In this Gen Z generation, as a wellness coach, what is the most advisable thing you think people should do to live healthier lives?
I think people should take things slow. In this Gen Z generation, we try to live fast for our age, for our income brackets, our social brackets. We try to want to climb the ladder faster and quickly, and that is not how it works, and that is what causes stress, because you are thinking that you're 25 now, I should be doing this, I should have this, I should have that, I should have done this. I am 27 now, I should be doing this. Or my friends are getting married, my friends are having cars, my friends are having boyfriends and healthy relationships. So people are trying to live fast, and that is not healthy at all. So my best advice is to move more slowly, make conscious decisions, be intentional with the words you say, be intentional with how you act and react to people and interact with people too. Toxic social media use is another thing. I think that is one of the reasons why people are trying to live fast, because they're seeing people on social media achieving these things, and they don't even know what's happening behind the scenes with those people, but they're just seeing the bright and beautiful side. So it's a lot, basically.
Wellness coach Doreen Oredola Valrie Deigh, before going, can you please do a wellness session for us?
So this is called mindful drinking, and it's basically the easiest way that I can use to explain to people exactly what mindfulness is. So it's 10 minutes. We start. First, hold the cup or mug in your hand, and you're invited to gaze at it, to look in the cup and just gaze at it. Notice the way the light and shade falls on it. Is it lighter on one side than the other? Notice how it reflects light and the different colors the reflections give to it. For instance, if it's a white mug or a clear glass, just notice the shade all over it, or how many shades it has, how many colors. Now look at the surface of the tea itself. Notice the colors, the reflections, the shade. Notice the steam coming off of it. Now feel it with your hand. The sensations on your skin, the weight, the heat. Now bring it up to your nose and breathe in. Does it have an aroma? Perhaps close your eyes to better concentrate on its smell. It may be strong or it may be very subtle. And as you're doing this, you'll probably also feel the steam on your face. If you want to feel that more fully, put the cup under your chin. If you're thirsty, notice the feeling of wanting to drink. Be curious with that sensation. What does thirst feel like? What does the urge to do something feel like? Maybe there is some impatience too. What does that feel like? Now, you're invited to bring the cup to your mouth, to feel the rim of the cup on your lips. How does that feel like? Now take a sip and hold the liquid in your mouth for a few seconds. What does liquid feel like? And the taste, how is it like? You're invited to swallow if you hadn't already done so. And feel the drink slip down your throat. The feelings of satisfaction as you do so. You can continue to take more sips and just feel more of the liquid in your mouth. And feel more with your body in this present moment. And as you sit with the cup, experiencing whatever feelings or sensations in your body in this moment. And as we slowly bring the practice to a close, we take these few seconds to be curious and understand the sensations that our bodies have felt during the session. The feeling of wanting to drink, to quenching our thirst, and to just taking our time to be in this moment, drinking a cup of tea. Thank you for joining me in this practice.
Thank you very much, Doreen. I'm here with my friend and my producer. We were in the wellness session together. Hi, Mary Charles.
Hi.
How was the wellness session?
I felt relieved, and as a person who literally battles with being mindful, I really had time to concentrate and just allow the feelings to take over my body. So I felt really, really nice, and I hope to do it more often.
So have you ever practiced it before?
No, this is my first time actually.
And now you want to do more of it?
Yeah.
And to my producer, how was the wellness session?
Well, as always, it turns the balance because when you wake up in the morning, I am a mindful person. I practice it by myself. I have been in few sessions. I have even in the past developed few mindful practices myself, but I do it because I am a very busy person and sometimes I'm anxious, and when I'm anxious I just take the time to spend at least 5 minutes to do a mindfulness on anxiety. Like last year, it was a very bad year for me. Meditation and mindfulness and therapy helped me. It really, really helped me. Last year, I posted that I'm feeling very hopeless and I felt terrible. And people were saying, "You okay? It's not what happened." They constantly they would not even feel like you should have those feelings. They are worried about you, but they act in an opposite way, trying to tell you that this feeling should leave your body, but it doesn't. But when I had therapy with an expert, if I'm going through a lot, if I feel like I don't feel the urge to leave anymore, I message her and we start talking about my feeling. We identify the feelings that I'm feeling. And then mindfulness really helped me, because when I feel like my mind is racing, sometimes I hear voices because I'm stressed out, and I just take 5 minutes and stop everything, all the thinking, and just go into meditation. Most times I meditate, I don't hold cups. Sometimes I listen to those calm mindfulness songs, but this is the first time I'm holding a cup and sipping water, and it feels differently because you're taking the attention outside, being this person who thinks continuously, and drinking the water, feeling the sensation. These are all things that helps you just slow down and go back to being the peaceful you.
So you mentioned that you've been having these sessions regularly. How would you describe how they've helped your overall mental health and physical well-being?
I felt like I was going crazy, and it helped me. It brought me back You know, it made me appreciate myself more, made me appreciate the earth, the wind, you know, because sometimes I meditate outside. When I feel the wind on my skin and I smell the air, all help to bring me back to sanity. So I think it's something people need to prioritize. I think 3 years ago during COVID, I was doing a 21-day session with other people outside Sierra Leone. I also did with Chopra Center as well. That particular thing saved me. I was in a very dark place in my life. It helped to bring me back from that dark place.
Myself as a presenter, this session was literally the most relieving thing I've had in my whole life, if I could say. And I wouldn't mind to do more of it. And I would advise you guys that are listening to embark on wellness sessions, because it's literally the most beneficial thing you can do for yourself. Because when your mental health is stable and satisfied, your overall well-being would be okay. What do you think offices should do to promote mental health and mindfulness?
I feel like offices should try to create an environment, a healthy work environment for their employees where they can thrive both personally and professionally. Because mental health is pivotal in shaping workplace productivity and overall organizational success. I, as a mindfulness facilitator, I use my skills to enhance the well-being and performance of the office workforce. I sometimes provide workshops for the office, in-house one-on-one sessions with employees in the office. If their mental health is affected, their productivity is also affected, and that affects the company's work at the end of the day. So organizations here, they can have a wellness room, they can have an in-house mental health and mindfulness facilitator like me. They can do more office workshops, they can do retreats and have sessions that are directed towards mindfulness, towards mental health development, mood boosting for their employees. Because at the end of the day, if the employees are stressed and overwhelmed, then the work in the office is not going in the path that it's supposed to go.
Thank you, Doreen Oredola Valrie Deigh, for sharing those impactful statements. This proves that being physically active, connecting with people, building healthier relationships, and setting boundaries may improve our overall mental well-being. Our next episode promises to be just as engaging. We'll continue to probe out issues that affect the lives of young people in Sierra Leone. Stay tuned for more informative stories and discussions. Remember, it's all about asking, wait now, what's happening in the lives of young people in Sierra Leone? Up until next time, keep amplifying those voices and driving positive change. This is an Engaged Salon podcast funded by the Fund for Global Human Rights. Don't forget to follow us, like, and share the podcast. We rely on you to pass the word out there. Waiting now. I am Adama Morgan.